When the Deepwater Horizon drilling rig exploded in the Gulf of Mexico, it triggered the largest oil spill in U.S. history. Contamination from the high toxic levels and quantity of oil devastated the Gulf's coastline, marine ecosystem, wildlife, and the fishing industry.
The Gulf oil spill affected over 1,000 sea turtles, either found dead on the beach or brought into rehabilitation facilities. In addition, hundreds of sea turtle nests have been found and relocated or brought into captive facilities for hatching. The long-term effects on the sea turtle biology in the ocean is yet to be determined. In addition, there have been hundreds of birds affected, many brought to rehabilitation facilities. The Louisiana state bird, the brown pelican, which was recently removed from the endangered species list, has been heavily impacted in some areas.
Recovery and restoration of the Gulf's natural resources are unknown factors at this time, but scientists can refer to studies generated since the Exxon Valdez oil spill in 1989. Noted as the second worst oil spill in U.S. history, the tanker accident polluted hundreds of miles of pristine shoreline in the Gulf of Alaska. Unlike in the Gulf of Mexico, this oil made landfall within 3 days, quickly covering a wide range of marine mammals and birds.
Immediately after the oil was spilled from the Exxon Valdez, thousands of animals in Prince William Sound were affected, and the majority of them died. Over 2,800 sea otters, over 250,000 seabirds were known dead immediately after the spill. Since the oil spill, there have been multiple long-term studies of the effects of oil. We found poor reproductive rates among sea otters in the oiled areas. Harlequin ducks have also had poor reproduction, especially in the first 10 years.
From the ruin and settlement of the Exxon Valdez oil spill, a marine research institute was born. The Alaska SeaLife Center in Seward is where pioneer research is conducted on the oil spill's long-term effects. The health and general functioning of the marine ecosystem is also studied here. Findings can offer valuable information for fishing industries and other ecosystems.
The research we've done over the last 10 years has really shown us the long-term effects of this oil spill. Based on more than 200 research projects, we now know that, for example, oil persists in the environment a lot longer than we expected. The second major effect we're seeing is the effects on wildlife at very small exposure levels. We're seeing, for example, the loss of sea ducks, their reduced reproduction because of the sublethal effects of oil at very small exposures, parts per billion.
Before the Exxon Valdez spill, there was little understanding nor baseline studies about Alaska's marine ecosystems. Using advanced technology and techniques, the Alaska SeaLife Center conducts field research on the rescue and rehab of mammals and seabirds. The work is providing hope for threatened and endangered species. Knowledge is shared with the public to educate about protecting the rich diversity in the North Pacific and Arctic.
Stellar sea lions are endangered in this part of Alaska, so we are monitoring their populations in the area, looking at their behavior. Over the long term, we're studying how much time the mothers are spending with their pups, how many pups they're giving birth to year after year after year, and eventually mortality and survival rates of these animals. And we can do that by tracking these animals over the long term. We've had this remote video system out at Chiswell Island on a rookery, 35 miles south of Seward, and we've been monitoring them for more than 10 years now. We want to keep track of what's going on with the ecosystem out here, and they are a major component of the ecosystem, of course.
From the Arctic Ocean to the Gulf Stream waters, our nation benefits from a spectacular bounty and beauty of marine life. Preserving it for future generations is a beckoning call to conservation.
If there is any silver lining from the Gulf of Mexico oil spill or the Exxon Valdez oil spill, it really is that the oceans that we enjoy are so important to our ecology and our well-being economically. And so it reinforces the need for a national ocean policy that really will sustain the health of our oceans and maintain the livelihoods that we generate from those oceans.
The Alaska SeaLife Center rises on the scenic shores of Resurrection Bay in Seward. Nearby, the Exxon Valdez oil spill had devastated the pristine coastline. The center was built as a response to the spill. It is one of the only nonprofit organizations in the world with both a public aquarium and complete research facility in the same building. High-tech labs plus rescue and recovery studies on aquarium and animals make this center the cold water research facility in the U.S. Open year-round, visitors enjoy exhibits and close encounters with sea anemones, octopus, puffins, sea lions, and more. They can peek over the shoulders of top scientists studying Arctic life in Alaska's marine ecosystem. Research, restoration, education, stewardship of the seas. The Alaska SeaLife Center is a positive legacy from an oil spill tragedy.
Mojo was a 3-month-old sea otter that was hit by a boat and was picked up by our SeaLife Center stranding crew. And this is a clear example of why rescue and rehabilitation is such an important factor in what we do here at the Alaska SeaLife Center, for the fact that these animals are indicator species. They're actually foraging on the same type of food that we are eating, so they can be indicator species on what's going on in our entire marine health. It's important that we get support from you to help animals like Mojo so we can continue our research and rehabilitation to figure out what's going on in our marine ecosystem and continue to improve our entire ocean's health.
Over the last 10 years, the Alaska SeaLife Center has done an amazing job building a better understanding of the Gulf of Alaska ecosystem. Now, our plan in the next 10 years is to move further northwards to look at the Arctic, to see the effects of climate change and sea ice loss in the Arctic. And we're going to be focusing on species like walruses, northern fur seals, and other seabirds that are being affected by that loss of sea ice.
We envision this facility as a major research center dedicated to the marine environment of the North Pacific. It is the only cold water research facility in the North Pacific, and it has exceeded our wildest dreams. It has not only been a primary world-class research center, but it has been an economic engine for the city of Seward and the state of Alaska. It has brought scientists from all over the world to it, and the work they do is in being nationally and internationally recognized.
For more information, visit alaskasealife.org or call 800-224-2525.